filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Diffuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walk the mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win, apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, apply myself.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back with another one. I forgot to put myself on the screen, but welcome back, man. We got our Week 10 recap coming through. I can't believe it's been 10 weeks already. We are already on Week 11. Week 11 starts today. We got Maction. Week 11 starts. Weeknight Maction, weekday Maction. Can't wait. Super excited. It starts at 7:30 tonight. Before I get into it, I like to ask that you leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps the network. It helps my channel, CTC, by way of the Refuse to Lose networks. I'm going to go over the shows we have real quick. So we have the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave. They go live Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 7 o'clock Eastern. So that means they will be going live after CTC today. Make sure you check them out after me. We have BWT, Baseball with Teddy. Teddy, I will be cashing in on my double chicken from Chipotle very soon. All your baseball content through there. I can't believe that it's been 2 seasons of BWT already. We got FFC, Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. Hey, man, if you ain't got D-Hop in that waiver wire, man, might be a time to go get him. But you can find all that out with FFC, Fantasy Football. We got Dave's Doghouse. I believe he's going live tomorrow. Highlights and lowlights of sport. RBO, Road Ballers Only. He's supposed to be going live soon to be tallying up the winner of his contest. But to be a part of that contest, you have to be a superstar member because you have to be in the Refuse to Lose chat. So be on the lookout for that NBA content there. Next, we have Kings Talk. Kings Talk with Joe Jordan. The Kings got a crazy win. It's a bonus with a buzzer beater putback, and it wasn't close, and it was not easy to beat the Heat, I believe, in Miami. Shout out there. Shout out to Joe, but all your Kings content through there. We got in the red corner, boxing content, Ty, Ricky, and Tomo, all your boxing through there. And last but certainly not least, we have Unfazed featuring Joe and AJ. Hey, AJ, can't spell Lakers without L. My Pistons beat the Lakers last night. But 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. You can catch Joe and AJ on Unfazed right now. It's heavily NFL, but NBA will work its way in there eventually. But yeah, catch them. But that's all the shows that we have on the network. Like, comment, share, subscribe to them. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with them. So, we got to jump right into poll talk. I ain't forget this week. Proud of myself. We're going to jump into poll talk. And while we do poll talk, we're just going to talk about these upsets as well because that has something to do with poll talk. So like I said, Oregon does not have the number one ranked country team in the country curse, They win against Michigan, shout out, and they remain number 1 in the country. 2 is Georgia, which I think they should drop. Struggle with Florida. They struggle with Mississippi State. They didn't struggle with Texas. They blew them out. But they didn't blow them out, but they dominated. Lost to Bama. I think that Ohio State should jump into that number 2 spot. Their only loss being to number 1 ranked Oregon, by the way. I get it. Georgia's only loss is to number 1 ranked at the time. Their loss was to number 4 ranked Bama. They did beat number 1 ranked at the time, Texas, but Georgia's struggling. Georgia is struggling while Ohio State's not really struggling. I mean, if you want to call the game against Penn State a struggle, cool. They're ranked 4th in the country, now 6th. They dropped. Cool, whatever. I think Ohio State should be 2. I think Miami should be 3, or Miami could be 2. Not mad if you think Miami should be 2, undefeated in the ACC, undefeated period. They've been playing with fire and then blowing teams out late. So that's why I think they should be 3. Um, but anyway, 2 is Georgia, 3 is Ohio State, 4 is Miami, 5 is Texas, 6 is Penn State after a loss to Ohio State. I think Penn State should be above Texas. I do. I would say, but you know how the college football polls work. You lose later, it affects you. So you would rather lose early, and that's what Texas did. They lost earlier, so now they're above Penn State. But I would personally like Penn State over Texas. I'm not mad at Texas over Penn State. It's all preference. 7th is Tennessee. I'm cool with that. Indiana jumped into the top 10. First year under Kirk Cignetti, Michigan State. That's the coach I wanted. Got Indiana in the top 10 at 9-0. 9-0 Indiana Hoosiers. Never thought I would see the day, but Kirk Cignetti in 1 year got that going. So still mad at MSU for that. BYU is number 9 at 8-0. They move up. Not move up, excuse me. They stay at 9. Notre Dame moves back 10 spots to number 10 at 7-1. Not mad at that. 11 is Alabama. They move up 3 spots. Definitely not mad at that. Number 12 is Boise State, moving up 3 spots. Love that. Number 13 is SMU, moving up 7 spots after blowing out Pitt. Gonna have to talk about that. Gonna have to talk about how another week my dog of the week gets crushed. But good for the Mustangs. 14 is LSU, moving up 2 spots. 15, Texas A&M, taking an upset to my South Carolina Gamecocks on the road. Bryce Williams was electric. They moved down to 15, though. Now, I will say Connor Wegman did not play. It was Marcel Reed at quarterback. But still, nonetheless, it is an upset, and it's a ranked win for the South Carolina boys to move 1 game closer to being bowl eligible. So, shout out my boys. 16 is Ole Miss after a blowout at Arkansas on the road. Shout out to Jackson Dart. Y'all know that's my guy. 17, I knew they could not. I knew they couldn't wait to do this. 17 is Iowa State after taking its first loss of the season to Texas Tech, which is a pretty good team. Texas Tech is in play for the Big 12 championship. This game against Colorado, Texas Tech and Colorado, is huge for the Big 12 championship implications, especially because Kansas State lost. We want to talk about that. So now Iowa State dropped 6 spots to 17. I knew they couldn't wait to do it. They were looking for a reason. They didn't want to move them up, and when they did, they moved them back without losing. So I knew this was coming. 18 is Army top 20. Military Academy creeping up in there. 19, I knew they couldn't wait to do this either. Clemson drops back after getting, I would say, dominated by Louisville. It was a blowout at one point. Clemson comes back to make it look cute at the end, but dominated by Louisville. Not mad at that, actually. 20 is Washington State. Love that. 7-1 with John Mateer at quarterback and those guys on the outside. Washington State is 20. Colorado moves up to 21, inching into top 20. Love that off the bye week. Again, in play for the Big 12 championship. 22 is Kansas State. After losing to Houston on the road, Willie Fritz gets its first ranked win at Houston. I don't think TCU was a ranked win when they beat TCU. I don't remember, but I don't think it was. So getting his first ranked win at Houston. Shout out to Willie Fritz, another coach that I did want at MSU. If it wasn't Cignetti, it was Willie Fritz. 23 is Pitt, which I'm glad they didn't drop them out. It was a blowout, but they did lose to a ranked team. So I like the fact that they didn't drop them out. They're 23rd. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at them dropping 5 spaces for getting blown out. Back in the rankings is bowl eligible Vanderbilt at 6-3. Hold on. Y'all heard me right. Hold on. I gotta bring this out. You heard me correct. Ranked 24th. Shout out to the Commodores. Shout out to Clark Lee and the guys. Shout out Diego Pavia. I love watching Diego Pavia play some college football. He's one of the most electric quarterbacks of college football. So shout out to Vanderbilt there. And finally, Louisville cracks the top 25 at 6-3. Replacing Mizzou, which I'm not mad at. I love the fact that Mizzou's out. Get them out of here. When they played against ranked teams, they got blown out. Until they play better against ranked opponents, I'm not mad at them being unranked. But Mizzou is 26. South Carolina is on the cusp, technically at 27th. Tulane is on the cusp, technically at 28th. UNLV and Louisiana, 29 and 30th. I think Arizona State should be more so on the cusp. I believe Arizona State is 7-1, 8-1. Let me go look real quick. I know Arizona State played Oklahoma State. No, was it Oklahoma? No, it wasn't Oklahoma State. Arizona State played somebody and blew them out. I can't remember who. But I do think Arizona State has a case to argue that they can be ranked. I'm on top 25. Obviously, I'm not going to find them there. Let's just go Big 10. Oops. Let's go Big 12. Arizona State 6-2. 6-2. Not bad of a record coming off of a blowout win against it was Oklahoma State. My apologies. It was Oklahoma State. Now I get it. They lost to Cincy. Cincy's a pretty decent team. Now they also lost to Cincy. I believe Sam Levitt did not play. I believe the starting quarterback was Jeff Sims, but let me just make sure I'm correct here. I keep hitting the actual team instead of the actual game. Here we go. It was Jeff Sims. Sam Levitt didn't play. Sam Levitt didn't play that game, and their other losses, Texas Tech was another really good team. Texas Tech is in play for the Big 12 championship. I think that Arizona State should be ranked. Me personally, I think they should be ranked. I will put them 25th in front of Louisville. I get Louisville just got a huge ranked win against Clemson, but I think Arizona State is the better resume. I would go Arizona State. That's really my only gripe with the top 25, besides some movement and Iowa State dropping the 17. That's really my only gripe. Now, again, the upsets, Kansas State got upset against Houston. South Carolina upset Texas A&M. I'm not calling Ohio State beating Penn State an upset. I get 4-3. That's not an upset. That's just a top 5 game somebody got to lose. That's not an upset. Iowa State lost to Texas Tech, upset. Clemson lost to Louisville, upset. I believe that was all the upsets this week. Yeah, K-State, Houston. Yeah, I think that was all of them. I might be missing a couple. Maybe one. If I'm missing one, it's maybe one. But I believe that is all the upsets. Let's see. Minnesota upset Illinois, 24th ranked. Excuse me. See, I know if I was missing one, it's one. Minnesota upsets Illinois. I mean, SMU upsets Pitt, I guess, 20-18. But SMU was favored. I guess I'll call it an upset. But, yep, that's poll talk. I'll see y'all next week to discuss the next poll talk. I might, because I think the college football playoffs is supposed to release their poll tonight. When I do my preview, I might talk about that tonight. My preview should be around midnight, so look out for that. I'll talk about it then. But that's poll talk and upset talk. We'll get into our recaps. And we got to start with Tuesday night, man. Tuesday night looked grim. I went 1-2 Tuesday night. My only win was, I believe, Sam Houston State was like my only win. I think that's the only team I got right. Other than that, I lost. I lost Texas State. Jordan McLeod got hurt. Get well soon. And I lost at New Mexico State. Eric Rivers went nuclear. But speaking of New Mexico State, that's the game we're going to start with. We're going to start with New Mexico State 13, FIU 34 at home. Like I said, I did pick New Mexico State. I thought New Mexico State defensively would pose a challenge to FIU. FIU has been turning the ball over lately like crazy. And of course, when I don't pick FIU, they don't turn the ball over. They didn't turn the ball over. Like I said, Eric Rivers went nuclear, 295, 3 touchdowns. Absolutely insane performance by the receiver. And I said this on Unfazed Comments. I've said this before. I think Eric Rivers is an NFL receiver. I think if he does not go to the draft this year, he will be transferring out of FIU just to get more exposure, to go to a bigger program. FIU is all love, but Conference USA, if you have a chance, which I think he will, to have a chance to play for a Power 4 school, that's where I think he will be. He's going to take that chance, in my opinion, especially with NIL. But like I said, Eric Rivers went nuclear, and it blew this game open, but we'll get into it. So New Mexico State starts with a turnover on downs. 4th and 3, a 1-yard Mike Washington run leads to a punt by FIU. With 13:30 left in the second quarter, New Mexico State scores a 57-yard field goal. Then FIU scores a 52-yard Eric Rivers touchdown catch. That was set up by a face mask. Then with 2 minutes left in the second quarter, New Mexico State turnover on downs, 4th and 2. Brandon Nunez, no gain, which will lead to a 3-and-out punt by FIU. And then New Mexico State will score a 54-yard field goal right before the half. Then FIU will start the second half with a 24-yard field goal. Wow, New Mexico State will start the second half with a 3-and-out punt. Then FIU will score a 51-yard Eric Rivers touchdown catch. I believe all of Eric Rivers' touchdown catches were like 50-plus yards. Like I said, he went nuclear this game. Then Brandon Nunez for New Mexico State would throw an interception, which will lead to a 38-yard field goal for FIU. With 14-14 left in the fourth quarter, New Mexico State scores a 27-yard Mike Washington touchdown run, set up by Mike Washington 16-yard run. And then Dean Patterson was scored a 2-yard touchdown catch for FIU, set up by Eric Rivers, 19-yard catch. And then Eric Rivers would score a 62-yard touchdown catch, set up by Antonio Ferguson, 21-yard catch. And New Mexico State Santino Marucci would throw an interception, which would lead to the end of the game. Like I said, Eric Rivers went nuclear in this game, man. He blew this game open by himself. Expect him on major performances, obviously. Next, we have Louisiana at Texas State. I did pick Texas State to win this game at home. I figured Louisiana would keep it close. Again, Jordan McLeod got hurt. Texas State offense was sputtering. They would get down the field, but they just couldn't punch it in. Louisiana, both teams were able to move the ball. I will say that. Both teams were able to move the ball. Just Louisiana, they just took more advantage of it. But let's get into the game. So Texas State starts with a 21-yard field goal. Oh, I did say this. While I was watching the game, Texas State was getting down the field, but they weren't converting touchdowns. And I said that was going to bite them in the butt because they went down twice and got field goals and made a 6-zip instead of maybe 14-zip or 10-zip. I said all it takes is Louisiana to score one drive, and then they right on top. And I believe right after they made the second field goal, Louisiana goes down and scores to go 7-6. And I was like, yep, see? But anyway, Texas State starts with a 21-yard field goal. Louisiana starts with a punt. Then Texas State scores a 25-yard field goal. And, then Louisiana will score a 64-yard Draylon Washington touchdown. How did I forget to write it? But I want to say it was a touchdown catch. But I forgot to write what it was. But I don't know how I did that. Hey, man, sometimes I be tired from work. I be burnt out. And this is what you get sometimes. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. Oh, I think it was a touchdown run. It was a touchdown run. My bad. All right, boom. Then Louisiana will have a turnover on downs, 4 for 6 passes incomplete, leading to a punt. Then Louisiana will score a 1-yard Caden Jensen touchdown catch, set up by Lance LaGrange, 28-yard catch. Louisiana would then start the second half with a 3-and-out punt, and Texas State will start the second half with a 1-yard Ishmael Mahdi touchdown run, and the 2-point would be good to tie the ball game. The Louisiana will score a 42-yard field goal, while Ishmael Mahdi on the next possession would fumble, which Mahdi has been fumbling the games I have been watching, which is uncharacteristic of Ishmael Mahdi, to be completely honest. But he has been fumbling this year. I don't know what's going on with Mahdi. I hope he fixes it. He's one of the better backs in the Sun Belt, but he has been coughing up the games I've been watching. And that would lead to a 24-yard field goal. Texas State will score a 25-yard field goal, and then Louisiana will score a 44-yard field goal. And then Texas State's R.J. Martinez in the game for Jordan McLeod with an interception that would lead to the end of the ball game. And that'd be a ball game. Key turnover with the Mahdi fumble, not putting up touchdowns, not scoring 6, settling for field goals. That ultimately hurt Texas State in this game. And Louisiana remains on top of, I believe, the Sun Belt West. I want to say. I know their section of the Sun Belt, they're number 1. So, and it pretty much took Texas State. It's pretty grim for Texas State to make the Sun Belt championship game at this point. But we'll go to our final game Tuesday night. The only game I got right. Louisiana Tech 3, Sam Houston State 9. Now, I didn't think this game would be this low scoring. I did not. And Louisiana Tech was able to move the ball, but sloppy football, turnovers. This game was real sloppy, to be honest. This game was sloppy, turnovers, just missed throws. It was a sloppy football game. It was sloppiness mixed with some defense, but I think, in my opinion, this game was overall sloppy, and that's why you got the score that you got. Jack Turner did come in for Louisiana Tech, and I think he did okay. I think he did do better than Evan Bullock, but again, man, this game was just sloppy. But we'll get into it. Louisiana Tech starts with a Fred Robertson fumble, which will lead to a 3-and-out punt. Then Louisiana Tech will score a 24-yard field goal. Then Louisiana Tech, Evan Bullock would be sacked. That would lead to a safety for the Sam Houston State Bearcats. But after the sack, it would just lead to a punt. After the safety, it would lead to a punt. Then Evan Bullock would throw an interception, which would lead to a Hunter Watson interception, which would lead to an Evan Bullock fumble, which would lead to a turnover on downs, 4th and 18. The pass would be incomplete, which would lead to halftime. They come out of the half. Sam Houston State would start with a 40-yard Jay Ducker, touchdown run, which would eventually seal the game. Louisiana Tech will start the second half with a 3-and-out punt. The Sam Houston State would miss a 42-yard field goal, which would lead to a 3-and-out punt. And then with 12:45 left in the fourth quarter, Sam Houston State, Michael Phoenix would fumble, which would lead to a Jimmy Holiday fumble, which would lead to a 3-and-out punt. Like I said, man, this game was sloppy. It was more sloppy than defense, in my opinion. Just a sloppy football game. Louisiana Tech, 4th and goal. Turnover on downs, passes incomplete, which will lead to a 3-and-out punt. And then a 4th and 9, passes incomplete. That was Jack Turner as well, leading to the end of the ball game. Sloppy ball game. Sam Houston State comes out on top, which they need to stack wins because Western Kentucky and Jack State look like they're on a collision course for that Conference USA Championship game. But we move on to Wednesday night, which from Wednesday to Friday, I don't think I got a game wrong. No, I didn't get a game wrong at all. I got every game correct from Wednesday to Friday. I felt hot. Shout out Joe. Joe tell my picks. Got a bet. I won him a parlay. So shout out Joe. But we're going to start, which I guess this is technically another upset week. Because Jack State was 2.5-point dogs on the road against Liberty. And I picked Jack State to win, man. I picked them to win. Why? Because Liberty defense is not good. And why did Jack State win? Because Trey Stewart had a nuclear of a ball game on the ground. I think he had 180 yards in the second quarter. Trey Stewart went nuclear. Now he finished, I think, with like 230 and 3 or 4 touchdowns. But the game he had was crazy. And what also helped was that late in the ball game, Caden Salter threw an interception. Through the game, well, not game losing because they were down, but they were down 3. Threw an interception. Jack State was able to take it in, score after the 2-minute mark, which was really good. I even said it when they didn't score the first play. I was like, that's not bad. You get under the 2-minute mark, take a timeout. That happened. Boom. They win the game, but they just could not stop the run. Now, I will say Liberty had this speed option play, which is, I believe, how they scored their first touchdown. They had a speed option play that it looked like Jack State had no answer for. They would just fake the inside. Oh, no. It wasn't a fake. They would just go, boom, speed out. He had an option, obviously, and he would pitch it. Nobody be there, and they'll just break it for a long game. And it just looked like Jack State had no answer to it. But it didn't look like they went to it enough. They would go to it sporadically, but they didn't go to it enough. And Jack State wasn't changing what they was doing. We going to feed Trey Stewart. We're going to feed Trey Stewart. And then sometimes Bryce Huff will keep. And I think Bryce Huff ran somebody over. But they wasn't changing their game plan. Ultimately, Jack State won. But let's get into the game. Jack State starts with the punt, while Liberty starts with the 25-yard Vaughn Blue touchdown run. That was off the speed option, set up by Quentin Cooley, 17-yard run, who he had a good game as well. Jack State would then score a 75-yard Trey Stewart touchdown run. Just burnt everybody. Jack State, Trey Stewart fumbles, which will lead to a turnover on down 4 for 2. Caden Salter, 1-yard gain, which will lead to a 3-and-out punt. Then Jack State scores a 28-yard Trey Stewart touchdown run set up by Trey Stewart, 16-yard run. Liberty will score a 2-yard Quentin Cooley touchdown run set up by Caden Salter's 19-yard run. Liberty starts the second half with a 3-and-out punt, while Jack State starts the second half with a 25-yard field goal. Jack State will then score a 1-yard Trey Stewart touchdown run set up by Tyler Huff, 32-yard run. And then Liberty scores a 4-yard Jacob Jenkins touchdown catch set up by Caden Salter, 32-yard run. And then Liberty turnover on downs, 4 for 1. Failed quarterback sneak leads to a punt. And then Caden Salter would throw the interception I was talking about earlier, which will lead to a 1-yard Trey Stewart touchdown run. And then Liberty will miss a 48-yard field goal, which will lead to the end of the ball game. And that'd be a ball game. Liberty now has 2 Conference USA losses, so they need some help if they want to go back to the Conference USA championship game. Let's look real quick. Does Jack State play Western Kentucky before the championship? So I'm looking at Western Kentucky's schedule. Western Kentucky has New Mexico State. They play Jack State at November 30th. November 30th at home. But Western Kentucky also plays Liberty on November 23rd. So Liberty will have to beat Western Kentucky. And then Jack State will have to lose to Western Kentucky. Oh, no. Jack State will have to beat Western Kentucky. And Liberty will have to win out because then they'll have the head-to-head over Western Kentucky. But let's see who Liberty plays. Liberty plays Middle Tennessee State. I think that's a win. They play UMass. I think that's a win. Western Kentucky, they have to win. And Sam Houston State. So they have to win out. And Western Kentucky has to lose to Jack State for them to have a chance to make it back and get the rematch against Jack State. But we'll move on to, funny enough, Western Kentucky, where they beat Kennesaw State 14-31. I figured it wouldn't be close. I just figured Kennesaw State, they wouldn't have enough to score. If Western Kentucky put up points, they wouldn't be able to match. And that's what happened. Western Kentucky was able to move the ball. Elijah Young had a really good game on the ground. And Kennesaw State just does not have the offense to match a high-power offense. They have to make it a low-scoring game for them to have a chance. They were not able to do so. and the rest is history. Western Kentucky blowout win. I think it was 31-7 at one point. Then they scored and got an onside kick, but then Western Kentucky caught an interception and basically iced the game. But we'll talk about it real quick. Talk about what happened. So Western Kentucky will start with a 5-yard Trevor Borland touchdown catch set up by Keyshawn Johnson, 44-yard catch. Kennesaw State will start with a punt. Then Kennesaw State will score a 37-yard Michael Benefield touchdown run. Then Western Kentucky will score a 64-yard Easton Messer touchdown catch. Western Kentucky will score a 30-yard George Hart touchdown run set up by KD Hutchinson, 25-yard catch. Western Kentucky will score a 32-yard field goal. Kennesaw State will start the second half with a punt. Western Kentucky will start the second half with a punt. No, excuse me. They will start with a turnover on downs. 4th and 1, KD Hutchinson run for a loss of 5, which will lead to a punt. Excuse me. Western Kentucky scores a 17-yard Noah Mayers touchdown catch set up by Michael Matheson, 30-yard catch. Kennesaw State will score a 20-yard Bryson Davis touchdown run set up by Carson Kent, 17-yard catch. Then Kennesaw State will kick an onside kick. It would be successful. Like I said, they would throw a Bryson would throw an interception, which would lead to a 3-and-out play, and that'd be a ball game. Western Kentucky, again, was hitting explosive plays. Kennesaw State can't match that, and that was the difference in your ball game. Next, go to Thursday night where Tulane blows out Charlotte. All I would say is Tulane played excellent defense. They got to the quarterback, Deshaun Purdy, and they were able to pressure him, make him miss some throws. He threw a bad pick six late in the third quarter, I believe. But Tulane was just getting timely stops. Mekhi Hughes running hard, breaking runs. They stuck with the power run game. Mario Williams and Euclid Brown and Dante Fleming making timely catches. It was just a total domination, obviously, from the score. But Charlotte fought early. They fought early. Tulane just made it a blowout a little bit late. After the pick six, that's like you can tell like it was over. But early in the game, Charlotte was putting up a fight. I will say that. Charlotte starts with a punt while Tulane starts with a 34-yard field goal. Then with 7:31 left in the second quarter, Charlotte turnover on downs, 4th and 2 passes incomplete, leading to a 1-yard Mekhi Hughes touchdown run. Then Charlotte will score its only points with a 29-yard field goal, and then Tulane will start the second half with a 34-yard field goal. Charlotte will start the second half with a Deshaun Purdy pick six to Michael Robinson. So not late in the third, but I knew it was the third quarter. Tulane will score a 1-yard Mekhi Hughes touchdown run set up by Mario Williams, 25-yard catch. Then Charlotte turnover on downs, 4th and 6 passes incomplete, leading to a 34-yard field goal miss, which will lead to another 4th and 6 turnover on downs. Max Brown 3-yard run, which will lead to a 5-yard shady Clayton Johnson touchdown run, and that'd be a ball game. Nothing really much to say there. Tulane looking really good in American Athletic Conference play. Still one of the 3 undefeated American Athletic Conference teams, not in overall, but just in conference play. You have Navy, you have Army, and you have Tulane all undefeated in conference. Now, Army is undefeated in general, and Navy only has 1 loss in general. Tulane has 2. But, yeah, I think Tulane plays Navy, if I'm not mistaken, this week, which is a game I will have to go over if that's the case. But I really do think that is the case. Tulane. No, they don't play them this week. They play them on the 16th, so next week. Next Saturday, they play Navy, and that's going to have huge American Athletic Conference implications. Army still plays Navy. I think that's an American Athletic Conference game, so that's also huge implications. Navy cannot afford to lose both, obviously. I could look at the standings real quick. So, yep, Army's at the top at 6-0. Wait, Navy's 4-1. Why are they 4-1 in conference? That's right. Navy just lost to Rice. I forgot all about that. They did just lose to Rice. I forgot about that. They lost to Rice Saturday. I forgot. So Tulane is actually second at 5-0. So Navy definitely needs to win on the 16th. But that's what it's looking like. It's looking like Army Tulane. Ooh, that's a good game right there. But we're gonna move on to Friday night because I gotta kind of speed up. I only got an hour, 12 minutes till the main show, maybe an hour 15, hour 20 because they do be a little late, but I'll be late too. Next, we're gonna go Friday night. We got Georgia State, UConn, which this actually was a ball game. It didn't look like it early. Well, it looked like UConn was about to take off early, 1-10 lead, and then Zach Gibson led his team right down and scored. Then defense stepped up for Georgia State. They were able to tie it. But then UConn took the lead out of half. It kind of went the same as it went in the first half. First half, UConn jump out, Georgia State comes back. Second half, UConn jump out, Georgia State tries to come back, but UConn is able to fight off the comeback and win the game 34-27. Now let's talk about it. So Georgia State will start with a 3-and-out punt, while UConn will start with a 2-yard Louis Hansen touchdown catch set up by Mel Brown 52-yard run. Then UConn scores a 42-yard field goal. Then Georgia State will score a 7-yard Ted Hurst touchdown catch set up by unnecessary roughness. I believe everybody got off the field too. I believe that was on like 3rd down. And they got him off the field, but the unnecessary roughness was called. Then UConn's Darrell Robinson will fumble, leading to a 30-yard field goal. Then Georgia State's Zach Gibson will throw an interception, leading to a 28-yard field goal. UConn will start the second half with a 1-yard Darrell Robinson touchdown run. Cam Edwards set that up with a 46-yard run. Then Georgia State will start with the second half with a 20-yard field goal. Then with 12:54 left in the fourth quarter, UConn scores a 5-yard Nick Evers touchdown run set up by unnecessary roughness. Then Georgia State, Christian Velo will throw an interception, leading to a 31-yard Mel Brown touchdown run. Georgia State will score a 55-yard Freddie Brock touchdown run. Then Georgia State will score a 2-yard Zach Gibson touchdown run, set up by Ted Hurst 45-yard catch. And then Georgia State's onside kick would fail, which will lead to the end of the game. They picked up first downs on fourth. Picked up a first down on fourth to win the game. Like I said, man, UConn will jump out. Georgia State will come back. But then UConn will jump out again, and you just can't keep playing that cat and mouse game where you let the team jump out and you just try to come back. That's not going to work out for you. UConn wins the ball game. They actually covered too. Shout out to UConn. I think UConn is now bowl eligible after that win too. So shout out the Huskies of UConn. Shout out Jim Moore Jr. UConn is back to a bowl game. Love to see it. Last year was a down year for UConn after, I believe, making a bowl game 2 years ago. Yep, they're 6-3, so they're bowl eligible. So shout out them. Next. South Florida at FAU. South Florida did win 44-21. This game was close. This game actually looked like FAU might take it away. CJ Campbell Jr., which I forgot to put him on major performances. CJ Campbell Jr. was having a ball game. He was the one scoring. He was breaking the long run, scoring for FAU. I believe he scored all their touchdowns. I believe all 3 touchdowns were CJ Campbell Jr. But USF just had a breakthrough in the third quarter. They started breaking long runs. Like I said, they just had a breakthrough, and FAU could not get off the field. First, USF couldn't get off the field, then FAU couldn't get off the field, and it's better to not get off. I mean, it's better to figure it out late than early. So USF did pull away late in this ball game to win this game. Shout out Kelly Joyner. Shout out the running backs, Kelly Joyner, Naquan Wright. Shout out Sean Atkins picking up big third downs. He picked up the game-winning third down. Well, not really game-winning, but the end-the-game third down. And they passed the ball. They obviously went to Sean Atkins, and he converted. But let's talk about it. South Florida starts with a 3-and-out punt. Wow, FAU starts with a turnover on downs, 4th and 6. Omari Hayes, 1-yard catch, leading to a 36-yard field. Oh, yes, this is the game. The kickers in this game were bad. I'm sorry. I think they started off, each kicker missing a field goal. I think it was 3 straight missed field goals in this game. The kicking in this game was not good, leading to a 36-yard field goal miss. Then that would lead to a 9-yard CJ Campbell Jr. touchdown run. Then with 8:21 left in the second quarter, FAU misses a 50-yard field goal, which will lead to a 64-yard Naquan Wright touchdown run. Then FAU will score a 30-yard CJ Campbell Jr. run, set up by Zaburi Mobley 15-yard catch. Then FAU will miss a 36-yard field goal, leading to halftime. Then FAU will start the second half with a 3-and-out punt, while USF will start the second half with a 1-yard Bryce Archie touchdown run, set up by Kelly Joyner 32-yard run. FAU would then score a 63-yard CJ Campbell Jr. touchdown catch, set up by roughing the passer. USF would score a 13-yard Sean Atkins touchdown catch, set up by Sean Atkins 16-yard catch, which this would be Sean Atkins' first touchdown all year. So shout out Sean Atkins for finally touching paint. FAU was turnover on downs, 4th and 1 to Bree Mobley, no gain, leading to a 34-yard field goal. Then FAU Cam Fancher would fumble, leading to a 3-yard Kelly Joyner touchdown catch. Then USF would score a 17-yard Kelly Joyner touchdown run, set up by Kelly Joyner 29-yard catch. USF will score a 42-yard Tayron Keefe touchdown run. Shout out the Bowling Green transfer. Bowling Green plays tonight. 2-point will be no good. And then FAU turnover on downs, 4th and 2, passing incomplete, leading to a punt. And then another turnover on downs, 4th and 10, passing incomplete, leading to the end of the ball game. Like I said, man, USF just had a breakthrough late in the game, was able to run the ball, convert, and score while they were able to get FAU to turn the ball over and get off the field. Our last game for Friday night was just a blowout. But it wasn't in a blowout in the fashion you would think. Genty had a good game. He had a Genty game. He didn't have a video game, but he had a $130, $140 touchdown. He only had like 1 or 2. But Maddox Matson is the one that deserves a lot of the credit. Him and Latrell Caples. Latrell Caples 3 touchdowns, Maddox Matson 4 total. Maddox Matson was able to use a lot of play action pass to exploit the San Diego State's defense. I think they came out the gate and ran a play action pass and completed the pass to Cam Camper, like first play on the offense. But yeah, play action pass really helped Boise State blow out San Diego State in this ball game. So we'll talk about it. San Diego State starts with a 3-and-out punt, while Boise State starts with an 18-yard Latrell Cables touchdown catch set up by Cam Camper 15-yard catch. Boise State would then score a 19-yard Latrell Cables touchdown catch set up by Ashton Jency 16-yard catch. San Diego State's Danny O'Neal would throw a pick six to a Marion McCoy. Then San Diego State would throw another interception, Danny O'Neal, which would lead to a 14-yard Princeton Strahan touchdown catch. The San Diego State would score a 27-yard field goal. The San Diego State would score a 6-yard Marquise Cooper touchdown run set about Marquise Cooper 42-yard run. Boise State would score with a 14-yard Latrell Cables touchdown catch set up by Latrell Cables 16-yard catch. Boise State second half would start the second half with a 4-yard Ashton Jency touchdown run set up by Ashton Jency 35-yard run. San Diego State would start the second half with a 3-and-out punt. With 13:03 left in the fourth quarter, Boise State would score a 4-yard Ashton Jency touchdown run set up by Prince Strahan 22-yard catch. San Diego State would score a 30-yard Jordan Napier touchdown catch, and then Boise State would score a 2-yard Tyler Crow touchdown run. San Diego State would score a 30-yard Makai Shaw touchdown catch set up by Cam Davis 19-yard run. But like I said, this game was a blowout from the start. Boise State just came on, jumped out on them early, blitzed them, play action pass. Defense did an extraordinary job. We all know Boise State has a really good defense, and that was your ball game. Now let's get into these Saturday recaps, man. We got 9 games to go over. We're going to start, obviously, with number 4 ranked Ohio State beating number 3, the 3rd ranked Penn State Nittany Lions on the road. This was the game where I said no matter who loses, they're going to have a meme made about them because they're really bad against top 5, top 10 schools. James Franklin was the one I picked to choose the L, and James Franklin is the one that lost. Now, I will say this. I went 3-1 in the noon slot. I went 1-1 in the 3:30 slot, and then the night slot went bad. I went 1-2. So finished 5-4 Saturday, which is still winning. So I'm happy about that, especially because I had my hot Wednesday through Friday. But, man, it looked ugly. I thought I might finish with a losing record on Saturday, I think for the first time in a while. But went 5-4 on Saturday. Feel pretty good about that. But Ohio State, man, they won because Penn State can't generate offense. Their offense looked like it was mainly Ty Warren, which I figured it might be in the run game. You stop the run game, make Drew Law throw the ball, not going to get much. Penn State's only touchdown was a pick six on Ohio State's first drive. Will Howard threw a pick six on his first drive, and then Penn State proceeded to not score a touchdown ever since. Now, Penn State got close. They got really close, actually, before halftime. But I don't want to call it a miracle. I'll say a great play by the defensive back had a pick that led to a touchback. That was an incredible play by him to force that. I believe that was on Trey Wallace. Ohio State just did a really good job keeping Penn State out the end zone. And Will Howard did a great job shaking back from that pick six. I will say that. He shook back from the pick six in a very great way. And they won the ball game. Now, Penn State would start with a 29-yard field goal, and then Ohio State would start with the pick six to Zion Tracy. Then Ohio State would come right back and score a 25-yard Emeka Ibuka touchdown catch set up by Quishon Judkins' 22-yard run. Ohio State would then score a 21-yard Brandon Ennis touchdown catch set up by Travion Henderson 20-yard catch. Then Ohio State's Will Howard would fumble, but that would lead to a punt. Then Drew Law would throw an interception, the interception I'm talking about, that would lead to a halftime. Ohio State starts the second half with a 46-yard field goal. Penn State starts the second half with a 44-yard field goal. Then with 10-13 left in the fourth quarter, Ohio State scores a 39-yard field goal. Then Penn State turn one downs, 4th and goal. Passes incomplete, which will lead to the end of the ball game. You got to be better than that, Penn State. You have to be able to put up 0 offensive touchdowns. You got to do better than that. You have to, especially if you want to win a natty, if you got national championship inspirations. If you're going to make the playoffs, I believe you're going to make the playoffs. I think you might be out the running for Big Ten championship. Now, I do want to look at Penn State's remaining schedule because I don't think it's that bad. They don't play Michigan. I do want to see who's the best team on Penn State's schedule. So Penn State has Purdue, Washington, which that's not an easy W. Minnesota has been playing extraordinarily well at Minnesota and Maryland. I think Maryland and Purdue are easy W's. Sorry, Tom, I know you're listening. I think y'all should handle them. Washington, I think y'all should win. I don't think it'll be easy, but I think that's a game y'all should win by 2 touchdowns or more. And Minnesota is the game where I feel like y'all could slip up and lose. If you're Penn State, again, Minnesota has been playing extraordinarily well. Y'all really have not shown ability to pass outside West Virginia and USC, which USC defense looks like it was fraudulent, especially in the second half. Minnesota might be the trap game. Now, in terms of Ohio State, because Ohio State is in second behind Oregon. Ohio State has Purdue, should blow out. Northwestern should blow out. Indiana's actually second. My apologies. Oregon's first, Indiana second. Maybe Oregon might be, they both should be 9-0. So I would say Oregon's first, Indiana second. Now, this Ohio State-Indiana game is huge for Big Ten championship implications. Because if Ohio State wins, they have the tiebreaker. They should beat Michigan to hold on to face Oregon in the rematch. Ohio State loses, it is ball game. Indiana, Oregon, that Big Ten championship should be booked. Indiana plays Michigan, should win that. Ohio State and then Purdue to end should win that. So that Ohio State game has major implications in terms of the Big Ten. Especially, let's look at Oregon's remaining schedule. Oregon has Maryland, blowout, should be a blowout. Wisconsin should be a win, and Washington should be a win. So Oregon should finish 12-0, waiting to see who they play in the Big Ten championship. But we move on to another team that should be playing in their conference championship. Duke loses 31-53 against number 5 ranked Miami. I did pick Miami to win. I did pick Duke to cover, and Duke gave up a late touchdown to not cover. But Miami gets another blowout win after playing with fire yet again another week. Miami was down 31-17? I believe it was something along those lines. They were down multiple scores, came back and won by 3 touchdowns. But if you're Miami, you cannot continue to play with fire. You can't. You can't continue to play with fire. You're eventually going to get burned. It's eventually going to be one of those weeks, and then honestly, should have been Virginia Tech week, but you got past that. There's going to be one of them weeks where you play with fire, and the offense just might not have it. Believe me, I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. Just waiting to witness it. You're going to go against a team that just got it that day. It's going to be one of them days where stuff not clicking, and you're down too much, and it just seems like it's the day that you was destined to lose if you keep playing with fire like this. Now, it won't be Wake Forest. It could potentially be Syracuse. I would say it could potentially be Georgia Tech if and only if Haynes King is playing. I don't think Haynes King been playing the last few weeks with this injury. No, he has not. I haven't heard if he's out for a year. I got to check on that. But it could potentially be Georgia Tech if Haynes King plays. But right now, they've been surviving the fire. Xavier Restrepo has been huge for this team, and Cam Ward. I believe he broke another record this Saturday. He's just been huge for this team. Restrepo, I want to see how many yards he has on the year. He has currently, this is actually surprising. I'm not going to lie, this is surprising. 856 yards and 9 touchdowns. I thought he might be at 1,000 right now, but hey, he's definitely going to hit 1,000 before the year's over. Let's talk about the game. Miami starts with a Xavier Restrepo 34-yard touchdown catch set up by Isaiah Horton, 22-yard catch. Duke starts with a 3-and-out punt. Then Duke Malik Murphy would throw an interception, which will lead to a 4-yard Cam McCormick touchdown catch. And it's funny, every time he make a play, they be like, 9 years of college football, bro. Y'all know his story is crazy. I get y'all, 9 years is insane. Not even saying it's not. But we all know he has a crazy story behind that. With 2:28 left in the first quarter, Duke scores a 8-yard Peyton Jones touchdown run set up by Jordan Moore, 27-yard catch. Duke scores a 27-yard Samir Hagens touchdown catch set up by Peyton Jones, 40-yard catch. Miami would score a 29-yard field goal, while Duke would score a 6-yard Peyton Jones touchdown catch set up by defensive penalties. Duke would start the second half with it was 28-17, with a 6-yard Jordan Moore touchdown catch set up by Samir Hagens, 34-yard catch. Miami would start the second half with a 3-yard Xavier Restrepo touchdown catch set up by Xavier Restrepo, 20-yard catch, and the 2-point would be good to make it 28-25. Duke's Malik Murphy would throw an interception, which would lead to a 2-yard Elijah Lofton touchdown run. Then Duke would score a 24-yard field goal. Miami would then rattle off a 49-yard Jacoby George touchdown catch. Cam Ward would throw an interception, but that would lead to a 3-and-out punt. Then Miami would rattle off a 66-yard Xavier Restrepo touchdown catch. Malik Murphy would throw an interception, which would lead to a 1-yard Mark Fletcher Jr. touchdown run. Then Murphy would fumble, leading to a Cam Ward fumble, which would lead to a punt, and that'd be a ball game. Just 3 unanswered touchdowns late in the game wins the ball game with a turnover at that. Now, Cam Ward did turn the ball over twice, but the defense was able to provide their own turnovers because Malik Murphy turned the ball over twice. and they win by 22. So shout out Miami, undefeated, looking like they're going to be in the ACC championship game. We move on to Ole Miss. Another game I picked correctly. 19th ranked Ole Miss blows out Arkansas 63-31 on the road. And what an emergence of Jordan Watkins. This was the Jordan Watkins game. Absolutely insane video game numbers, just like Eric Rivers, just one extra touchdown. He went nuclear as well, and that was the difference in the ball game. He went nuclear. Caden Lee was back. Trey Harris was not back, but Jordan Watkins went nuclear. Jackson Dart, nuclear. Just Ole Miss. It was like I thought it was. Ole Miss offense is too potent, and Arkansas defense cannot stop anybody. Can't stop people. It's a bad combination. But let's get into the game. Arkansas starts with a punt. Ole Miss actually drove down the field, but on 4th and goal, they got stuffed. Ulysses Bentley got stuffed to the goal line, but that would lead to a sack fumble, and Ole Miss would pick it up to score first. And then Arkansas would score a 55-yard field goal. Ole Miss would score a 4-yard Daquan Wright touchdown catch. Daquan Wright set it up with a 23-yard catch. Ole Miss would then score, would score a 62-yard Jordan Watkins touchdown catch. Then Ole Miss would score a 66-yard Jordan Watkins touchdown catch. Then Arkansas would score a 6-yard Rashad DeBunyan touchdown run set up by Andrew Armstrong, 43-yard catch. Then Arkansas would miss a 45-yard field goal, leading to a 3-yard Jordan Watkins touchdown catch. Then Ole Miss would start the second half with a Jordan Watkins 11-yard touchdown catch, set up by Caden Lee, 34-yard catch. Arkansas would start the second half with a Malachi Singleton 13-yard touchdown run, set up by Rodney Hill 29-yard catch. Ole Miss would score a 1-yard big boy J.J. Peggis touchdown run. Caden Lee set it up with a 58-yard catch. Ole Miss would score a 62-yard Jordan Watkins catch. Jordan Watkins went nuclear in this game. Touchdown catch. Arkansas would score a 2-yard Rodney Hill touchdown run, set up by Rashad DeBunyan, 23-yard run. Arkansas's Isaac Tesla would fumble, and that fumble out the back of the end zone was crazy. He fumbled, I think, like 30 yards away from the end zone, ended up being a touchback. It was something crazy. It was a distance. It was a long distance away from the end zone. And that would lead to a 12-yard Daquan Wright touchdown catch, and then Arkansas would score a 22-yard Luke Haas touchdown catch, set up by Andrew Armstrong, 24-yard catch. And that would lead to the end of the ball game. But we've seen a big boy get a touchdown. Wildcat. Jordan, I can't say it enough. Jordan Watkins went nuclear. But we move on to the one game I got wrong, Saturday noon slot. It was with Minnesota at 24 ranked Illinois. I thought Illinois would be able to win this game. I thought Illinois would play good enough defense. Daniel Jackson actually had a really good game, especially in the second half. Darius Taylor did what Darius Taylor does. He broke a long run for a touchdown. He's hard to stop. Illinois run game good. Zachary Franklin finally had a game I was looking for. But it wasn't enough. Minnesota ends up edging out the victory. Now Illinois will start with a punt. Minnesota will start with a punt. And Illinois, Luke Almeida will fumble, leading to a 20-yard field goal. Then with 10:08 left in the second quarter, Illinois will score a 25-yard field goal. Minnesota would then score a 29-yard Darius Taylor touchdown run. That'll be the first touchdown of the game, set up by Jamison Gears, 13-yard catch. Illinois would score a 42-yard Josh McCray touchdown run, set up by Zachary Franklin, 15-yard catch. Minnesota would score a 45-yard field goal. Then Illinois would miss a 55-yard field goal before the half. He missed badly. Then Minnesota would start the second half with a 3-and-out punt, while Illinois would start the second half with a punt. Minnesota would score a 38-yard field goal. Minnesota would then have a turnover on downs, 4th and 12, Mark Crawford, 10-yard run, leading to a 21-yard Zachary Franklin touchdown catch. Minnesota would score a 1-yard Jamison Gears touchdown catch, set up by Daniel Jackson, 37-yard catch, but the 2-point would be no good. So that made it a 5-point game. Then Illinois 4th and 4 passes incomplete, which would lead to a 46-yard field goal. And then Illinois again, Luke Almeida would fumble, leading to the end of the game. Turnovers were the difference in the ball game as well. Illinois had 2. Minnesota had none. If you want to count the turnover on downs, Illinois had 3. Minnesota had 1. So turnovers were the key in this game. Illinois drops to unranked. I believe Illinois is still bowl eligible, so shout out to them for that. But they are no longer in play for the Big Ten Championship, and they are no longer ranked. Minnesota is also bowl eligible at 6-3. Yep, both 6-3. So shout out to both teams being bowl eligible. Next, we'll move on to Oregon blowing out Michigan. Put a smile on my face. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I don't care that we got blown out 47-10. I seen that coming. That's why I need to talk about the game. But this You big bad Michigan. You at home. They keep giving you home games to help you with these tough games, and y'all just keep getting blown out. But anyway, Oregon wins 38-17. Michigan, yet again, can't pass the ball. They had a turnover on downs on 37. It was late in the ball game. It was 31-17. Michigan was looking to try to score to make it a one-possession game. 37, they run the ball. 4th and 5, they run a reverse pass because their quarterbacks can't pass the ball. It's just sad, man. And they lose 38-17. That was the difference in the game. Oregon could pass. Michigan can't. Oregon's going to stop your run. You're going to break some. You're good enough to break some, but you're not good enough to beat these good teams just running the ball. Now, did they have a touchdown pass to receiver? Yes. Can they consistently pass the ball? No. But let's talk about the game. So Michigan would start with a 3-and-out punt. Oregon would start with a 2-yard Evans to a touchdown catch. Then Michigan would actually go 3-and-out and punt, but Ryan Pelham would fumble, leading to a 7-yard Tyler Moore's touchdown catch. Oregon would score a 1-yard Noah Whittington touchdown run set up by Kenyon Sadiq 24-yard catch. Then with 4:19 left in the second quarter, Oregon scores a 6-yard Noah Whittington touchdown run set up by Trayshawn Holden 38-yard catch. Michigan would score a 38-yard field goal. Oregon would score a 23-yard Dylan Gabriel touchdown run set up by Trayshawn Holden 44-yard catch. Oregon would start the second half with a 3-and-out punt, while Michigan would start the second half with a 6-yard Peyton O'Leary touchdown catch set up by Colston Loveland 34-yard catch. Oregon would score a 26-yard field goal, and it was 7:24. This is the drive I was talking about. Michigan turnover on downs, 4th and 5, pass incomplete, leading to a 2-yard Jordan James touchdown run to make it a 3-possession game. And that'd be a ball game, man. And we'll just move on. Michigan got blown out. We'll move on to the one game at the 3:30 slot. I got wrong. Texas Tech upsetting Iowa State. Ace texted me like, yeah, I told you Texas Tech was going to have a good year. He did, man. He did. Shout out to him. They're in play for the Big 12 championship. If they could beat Colorado, it's looking real sweet. But matter of fact, while we're on that topic, I got a little time. Let's look at the Big 12 standings real quick. I got 50 minutes. I don't think I'm going to be 50 minutes to run through these last 4 games. Let's see. Texas Tech is right here. Standings for the Big 12. So number 1 is obviously BYU. Number 2 is Iowa State because that was their first loss in Big. That was their first loss period, but only one loss in Big 12 play. Colorado is 3rd, 4-1. Do they play each other? I don't think they do. I think Colorado's schedule is kind of sweet. Yeah, they don't play each other. Next is Kansas State at 4-2. Then Texas Tech at 4-2. So Texas Tech has to beat Colorado to have a chance to play for the Big 12 championship this weekend. It's going to be a really good game. It's in probably going to be at Arlington Cowboy Stadium. Oops, clicked the wrong game. Just want to double check. It is at Joe's AT&T Stadium. So, yep, it will be there. So that's a good one. Because right after that, Oklahoma State and West Virginia, 2 games they could easily win. Now, while Colorado, they have Texas Tech. That's the only not sweet game. I would say Utah is kind of sweet because Cam Rising is not going to be there. So they're not going to be able to score. But Colorado's defense is bad. But Colorado's going to be able to put up points. Kansas is reeling. 2-6. It's just a bad season. Oklahoma State's going to pose some issues because Ollie Gordon. We all know the Achilles heel to Colorado is you can run the ball, you have an elite back. Achilles heel for Colorado. Ollie Gordon, elite back. That game might be a little, we'll see how that goes. But enough about the Big 12. Let's talk about this game. So Texas Tech will start with a 35-yard Josh Kelly, touchdown catch set up by Todd Brooks, 17-yard run. Iowa State will start with a 49-yard field goal, while Texas Tech will then score a 44-yard field goal. Iowa State turnover on downs 4-2, passing incomplete, leading to a 3-and-out punt. Iowa State will score a 37-yard field goal. Iowa State, Rocco Beck, interception, leading to a 3-and-out punt. Then Barron Morton would throw an interception, leading to a 3-and-out punt. Barron Morton, another interception, but this time Iowa State cashes in, scoring a 20-yard Jaden Higgins touchdown catch. The Iowa State starts the second half with a Gabe Burkle fumble, leading to a 3-and-out punt. The Texas Tech will score a 19-yard Josh Kelly touchdown catch set up by Coy Eakin 25-yard catch. Iowa State will score a 21-yard field goal. I'll talk about that later. Then Texas Tech will turn on downs 4-6, passing incomplete, leading to a 51-yard field goal miss, which will lead to a 3-and-out punt. Then Iowa State will score a 44-yard Carson Brown touchdown catch, caught up catch out of the backfield, broke some tackles and was gone. Jaden Higgins set it up with a 23-yard catch, and the 2-point would be no good. I don't know how he missed that throw. And then Texas Tech will score a 5-yard Todd Brooks touchdown run set up by Todd Brooks, 16-yard run. 2-point would be no good. And then what was that last play by Iowa State? They throw the ball to the tight end. And then immediately just go backwards. He pitches it back. They immediately pitches it back twice. I guess it was supposed to be like some type of setup for like a throwback with blockers in front. But what was that? That looked honestly terrible. And the ball got fumbled. And it ended up being at the 10-yard line, going the wrong way. And Iowa State would lose. Now, I forgot some key points I did want to touch on. Iowa State, normally a disciplined football team. Matt Campbell normally has them one of the most disciplined teams in the country. Penalties killed Iowa State. That last field goal they scored, the 21-yard field goal, they had the ball at the 1 and got a bad false start, which backed them up. And then it cost them because they couldn't get in. 4th and goal. I thought he would go for it, but because of the false start and everything, not being able to get in, Matt Campbell said, I got to leave with something. And they kicked it. I'm trying to pull up the team stats with penalties. 8 penalties for 59 yards for Iowa State. That's un-Iowa State character. That's not Iowa State football. That's not Matt Campbell, Iowa State football. Also, I wanted to talk about Texas Tech, Joey McGuire. That 4th and 6 going forward after the delay game on 4th and 1, thinking that even announcers thought they was going to punt. I'm like, all right, y'all can go for 4th and 1. But then when you get the delay game on purpose, I'm like, 4th and 6, yeah, they're punting. They were just trying to get him to jump. They're going to punt it. He went for it. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You're like at midfield. You're giving them an easy field goal. Now, did Iowa State take advantage? No, luckily for him. But he gave him basically easy field goal range. He just missed. I thought that was a bad decision. And then Iowa State played 2 preventative defense. Like, it was super prevent. They had like 2 minutes to work with, or like a minute 50. It's college football. You get timeouts on every, not timeouts, but the clock temporarily stops on every first down. I'm not saying blitz the crap out of them, but you had to play more up than that. They were playing too far back, and it cost them. It cost them. On 2nd and 10, they ran for 16 yards to Todd Brooks. It was like nobody in the vicinity for real. It was just bad coaching mistakes, player mistakes. This game was just full of mistakes, and Texas Tech took advantage and upset Iowa State. But we'll move on to a game that you go one of my 2 losses that night. I picked Clemson to win. Louisville blitzed Clemson. Came out early, 3 and out twice, back to back, was putting the stop on Clemson's offense. And I shouldn't. This is on me. I fell for it. I fell for the points that Clemson was putting up. I should have known Clemson offense was fraudulent. It is. I'm sorry. It is fraudulent. Cade Klubnik and this offense is fraudulent. They play against better opponents. This offense becomes fraudulent. Defense is okay. The defense is good. Louisville just has a good attack. But that offense is fraudulent for Clemson, man. I'm sorry. It is. Don't let this 21 even confuse you. They scored this late. They made it look cute. Louisville dominated this game. Louisville was moving the ball. They missed some field goals. They blocked some field goals for Clemson. This Clemson offense to me is fraudulent, man, and I fell for it. But Louisville wins 33-21. Blitz Clemson, jumped out on them early. Clemson didn't know how to handle it. Phil Maffa had a great game. I know Phil Maffa had 30 carries. I still feel like Clemson should have ran the ball more. That was the way to attack this Louisville defense. They could not really stop the run of Phil Maffa. But I get it. You can't be one-dimensional. But let's get into the game. So Clemson starts with a 3-and-out punt. Louisville will start with a 40-yard field goal miss, leading to a 3-and-out punt. And Louisville would score a 21-yard field goal. Then Clemson would score a 12-yard Antonio Williams touchdown catch set up by TJ Moore 22-yard catch. Then with 5:42 left in the second quarter, Louisville would score a 4-yard Tyler Shuck touchdown run set up by Duke Watson 31-yard catch. Then Clemson would miss a 49-yard field goal because it was blocked, leading to a 1-yard Kewan Brown touchdown run. Then Louisville would start the second half with a 42-yard field goal. Clemson would turn the ball over on downs 4th and 1, Phil Maffa for 1-yard loss, leading to a 49-yard field goal for Louisville. Clemson, 24-yard field goal is blocked, leading to a 3-and-out punt. Clemson would then score a 3-yard Phil Maffa touchdown run set up by a Phil Maffa 17-yard run. Louisville, right after that, Clemson would kick an onside kick right after the Phil Maffa touchdown run. I remember saying, all right, you got to get some stops. Kick an onside kick, it was failed. And then first play after the onside kick, Isaac Brown to the crib, 45-yard touchdown run. Then Clemson would score a 1-yard Phil Maffa touchdown run. Phil Maffa set it up with a 23-yard run. And then Villanova onside kick, 3-and-out punt, but that'd be a ball game. Like I said, man, Clemson got blitzed. They scored 2 touchdowns late to make it look cute, but that offense looks very fraudulent for the Clemson Tigers as they fall to Louisville. Really good win by Louisville. Clemson now drops in the rankings. But we move on to a game. The only game I got right at the night slot, the past 7 o'clock. So this one started at 7:30. I'll say 7:30 slot because I had 2 7:30s and an 8. It's the only game I got right at night. Iowa dominates Wisconsin. Now, I will say this. It's crazy how Iowa you can't bet unders in Iowa game no more. Not because Iowa's defense, because Iowa putting up 40. Where's like, bro, and they're not passing the ball to do this. Caleb Johnson is putting up 40 on the crown. Bro, you cannot bet Iowa unders. I almost wanted to against in this game, but I was like, man, Iowa putting up points. They put up 42. I think they beat the under by themselves. Bro, it's crazy what an OC can do. They let go of Frank's son. They get a new OC, and the schemes he's been drawing up on the ground has been setting Caleb Johnson free. And they've been putting up 40. I know the first game they put up 40. I ain't want to believe it. Dave was like, yeah, you see that Iowa put up 40 against Illinois State? I'm like, bro, it's Illinois State, bro. I don't care. He like, still, they put up 40. I'm like, bro, I don't care. And then Iowa just consistently putting up 40 now. Like, this ain't the second time they put up 40. I'm trying to find the other games. They ain't put up 40 against MSU. Just saying. I got to get my win somehow. MSU 4-5. I got to get some wins. Put up 40 against Northwestern. Put up 40 against Washington. Put up 31 against Minnesota. 38 against Troy. Like, bro, what is going on? Where's the real Iowa football? But shout out Iowa, man. Putting up another 40 burger. Absolutely destroying Wisconsin. Moving to 6-3 as well. Being bowl eligible. Shout out to them. But let's get into the game. So Iowa will start with a punt. Wisconsin will start with a 38-yard field goal. Iowa will miss a 56-yard field goal, leading to a Braden Locke interception, which will lead to a 1-yard Brendan Sullivan touchdown run. And then Iowa will score a 16-yard Caleb Johnson touchdown run set up by Kamari Moulton's 30-yard run. Then Wisconsin will start the second half with a punt, while Iowa will start the second half with a 9-yard Caleb Johnson touchdown run. Brendan Sullivan set that up with a 19-yard run. Wisconsin's Braden Locke will throw an interception, leading to a 7-yard Jacob Gill touchdown catch. Wisconsin will score a 14-yard C.J. Williams touchdown catch set up by Vinny Anthony 33-yard catch. Iowa will score a 2-yard Caleb Johnson touchdown run set up by Zach Orworth 52-yard catch. Then Iowa will score a 4-yard Jazon Patterson touchdown run set up by Kamari Moulton 18-yard run. Now, what I will say, Iowa, like I said, man, Iowa is putting up 40 on the ground. They didn't have a passing touchdown and put up 42. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. But shout out to Iowa. Putting up points. Gotta feel good if you're a Hawkeyes fan, seeing your team finally able to put up some offense. But it gotta feel bad that there's no longer divisions. And Indiana's undefeated. So, like, you're fine. Like, yeah, if we got a team that can put up points, we might contend for a Big Ten championship. And you can't. It's no way you can contend for a Big Ten championship. Ohio State and Indiana will have to have epic collapses, and Oregon for you to have a chance. So, sorry about that, Hawkeyes. But, hey, man, the offense is putting up points. And the last game I have for y'all today that we have to recap is Pittsburgh, my dog of the week, getting dogged yet again, man. We were 1-1. I felt good about this one. What makes it worse is I did have a backup. Vandy was my actual second backup, dog of the week. But I was like, I want to do a ranked on rank matchup. So I scrapped Vandy, went Pitt. Vandy won 17-7. I actually bet both. So Vandy won 17-7 against Auburn. Pitt got blown out. SMU, another game, jumped out on them early. Scored. Pitt couldn't do nothing with it. Pitt ended up kicking a field goal after. SMU was scoring touchdowns. Pitt kicked the field goal. It was just an utter blowout. They got blitzed and didn't know how to handle it on the road. That's all I really got to say about this game, man. Pitt got blitzed. Short, sweet, simple. Let's talk about what happened in the game, though. So SMU will start with a 2-yard L.J. Johnson touchdown run set up by Keyshawn Smith 43-yard catch. Pitt will start with a punt. Pitt will score then a 44-yard field goal, and then SMU will answer with a 3-yard Roderick Davis touchdown run set up by Matthew Hibner 22-yard catch. Pitt would then miss a 47-yard field goal, which will lead to a 71-yard Brashard Smith touchdown run. With 4:40 left in the second quarter, Pitt's Eli Holstein would fumble, which will lead to a 3-yard Brashard Smith touchdown catch. Then SMU will score a 50-yard field goal before the half. Pitt, to start the second half, will turn the ball over on downs, 4 for 10, 3-yard Gavin Bartholomew catch, which will lead to a 27-yard field goal for SMU. Then another turnover on downs, Pitt, 4th and 4, 3-yard Kenny Johnson catch, leading to a 3-and-out punt. Pitt would then score a 1-yard Desmond Reed touchdown run set up by Eli Holstein, 24-yard run, and the 2-point would be good. But then SMU will score an 18-yard Brashard Smith touchdown run set up by Keyshawn Smith, 43-yard catch. Then Pitt, Eli Holstein would throw an interception, leading to an 80-yard Matthew Hibner touchdown catch. And then with 4:01 left in the fourth quarter, Pitt would score a 13-yard Kenny Johnson touchdown catch, garbage touchdown, Set up a Kanata Munfield 26-yard catch, and then Pitt will score a 1-yard Malachi Thomas touchdown catch set up by Malachi Thomas, 21-yard catch. Again, two garbage time touchdowns to make the score look closer than what it was. But SMU straight up blitz Pitt. Pitt didn't know how to handle it. But that is it for our recaps. For my recap, time for major performances, man. Y'all know what it is, man. We try to celebrate guys that have major games every Saturday. Well, Tuesday to Saturday. Try to show them some love, man. So as I cue this up, y'all know what it is. I got a bunch this week. I almost filled up a whole page. I didn't think I would be, but here we are. But we'll start with Eric Rivers. Oh, I did that on. Trey Stewart, running back, Jack State, 27 carries, 232 yards, 4 touchdowns. Elijah Young, running back, Western Kentucky, 15 carries, 114 yards. Mekhi Hughes, running back, Tulane. Why isn't that going? 27 carries, 117 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Mel Brown, running back, UConn, 14 carries, 138 yards, and a touchdown. Naquan Wright, running back, USF, 17 carries, 117 yards, and a touchdown. Maddox Madsen, quarterback, Boise State, 24, 32, 307 yards, and 4 touchdowns. As I got to take this off, I forgot this banner's still going. Here we go. Latrell Cables, wide receiver, Boise State, 6 catches, 90 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Raheem Sanders, South Carolina, 20 carries, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns for my boys in the upset win. Joshua Simon, tight end, South Carolina, 4 catches, 132 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the tight end. Cam Ward, quarterback, the U, 25 of 41, 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, and a pick. And he fumbled too, but whatever. Xavier Restrepo, wide receiver, the U, 8 catches, 146 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Jordan Watkins, wide receiver, Ole Miss, 8 catches, 254 yards, 5 touchdowns. Jackson Dart, 25 of 31, 515 yards, and 6 touchdowns for Ole Miss. Darius Taylor, running back, Minnesota, 22 carries, 131 yards, and a touchdown. LaQuint Allen, running back, Syracuse, 21 carries, 121 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Trayshawn Holden, wide receiver from Oregon, 6 catches, 149 yards. Josh Kelly, wide receiver, Texas Tech, 8 catches, 127 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Jaden Higgins, wide receiver, Iowa State, 10 catches, 140 yards, and a touchdown. Isaac Brown, running back, Louisville, 20 carries, 151 yards, and a touchdown. Phil Maffa, Clemson, running back, 30 carries, 171 yards, 2 touchdowns. Caleb Johnson, running back, Iowa, 24 carries, 135 yards, 3 touchdowns. By the way, Iowa need to knock it off for what they did in that picture. Knock it off with that 3 jersey thing. That was crazy. Dylan Sampson, running back, Tennessee, 27 carries, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rashard Smith, running back, SMU, 23 carries, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns. And one of the crazier stat lines of the week, Bryson Washington, running back, Baylor, 26 carries, 196 yards, 4 touchdowns. Now, that is all for the recap, but we do have action tonight, man. We have Tuesday night action, week 11 action. So we are going to preview the 2 games I have for y'all tonight before Refuse to Lose main show comes on. Make sure you check them out in about 30, 35 minutes. But we got Bowling Green at Central Michigan, 7:30 ESPN2 at the time that this was made. That Bowling Green was 13.5 point road favorites. You can catch this game at 7:30 on ESPN2. Now, when I name off stats, these are max stats, not in the country and the conference. So Bowling Green has to force turnovers. Joe Labas is 7. The quarterback for Central Michigan, he is 7. He has 7 picks on the year. They got to run Terrion Stewart, the running back. He's now taking over full duty since not Kelly Joyner, not Kelly. Oh my God, he just transferred to USF. I can't remember his name right now, bro. He was a transfer running back that went to USF. He is now gone. Was it It's not Naquan Wright. Was it Joyner? I'm so mad I can't remember his name. I just shouted him out earlier in the show too, because that's how you know I don't write it down, because now I forgot his name. Tayron Keefe, because Tayron Keefe, he went to USF. Now he's the full-time starter. Got to get the ball to Harold Fannin Jr., the receiver. He's also a junior, so he might be back, or he might be at a Power 4 school. Connor Bazelak has to protect the football. It has to. And they got to stop the run. Central Michigan, they got to pressure Connor Bazelak. They're first in the MAC in sacks, so they got to put pressure on them. They got to force turnovers. They're at the bottom of the MAC in turnovers, but they got to find ways because their quarterback hasn't turned the ball over. They got to run Marion Lukes at running back. They got to stop Harold Fannin Jr., the receiver for Bowling Green. He's been Connor Bazelak's go-to. And you got to protect the football, man. Like I said, 7 interceptions. You got to protect the football. My winner is Bowling Green. Bowling Green, they're pretty high in statistics in the MAC. Yes, while Ball State does force sacks, that's about it. They're not really that good on forcing turnovers, while they do have a quarterback that forces turnovers. I think Bowling Green wins. I do think Central Michigan can keep it close, potentially with the ability to run the football and the ability to put pressure on Connor Bazelak. But I do think Bowling Green wins the game. Next, I have Miami of Ohio at Ball State. Miami of Ohio, at the time of this was made, are 11.5-point road favorites. Catch this game 8 o'clock on ESPN. Now, if you're Miami of Ohio, Brett Gabbert has to protect the ball, especially in the red zone. Again, the games I've watched, he's been turning that ball over in the red zone. Got to run Keon Mosey, running back for Miami of Ohio. Feed Kate McDonald and Javon Tracy, the two receivers. Forced turnovers, they're 4th in interceptions and 4th in fumbles recovered in the MAC. Get off the field on third downs. Ball State offensively are 3rd in third down conversions in the MAC. So Miami of Ohio has to find ways to get off the field, which Miami of Ohio has a really good defense of their own. So I think they will be okay. Now, Ball State, they got to convert in the red zone. Ball State have 23 trips in the red zone. 16 of those are touchdowns. 7 of those are field goal attempts. 5 made, 2 missed. So they gotta score once again in the red zone. They got to get red zone stops, however, because their defense, 26 of 28, they have allowed out 28 trips. They have allowed 20 touchdowns, 6 field goals. So got to find a way to get red zone stops. Get off the field on third downs because they are last in third down percentage on defense. They give up 50% of their third downs on defense. They got to run Braden Sloan, the running back, and they got to win the turnover battle. But my winner is Miami of Ohio because of that defense. I think Miami of Ohio defense wins them the game. Even if it's a low-scoring game, they find a way to get the turnover, find a way to maybe win the field position battle to give Miami of Ohio offense a better chance to win the game. I think this game is close, but I think Miami of Ohio wins it. And that is it for this episode of CTC. I should be back probably around midnight to preview Wednesday through Friday. I think it's 2 Maxi games on Wednesday, 2 on Thursday, and then 4 games on Friday. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. That's all I have for y'all. Please tune into the main show in about 30 minutes. And I will catch y'all later tonight. I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.